I am a Astral Dragon from Astral Dragon Gaming, and this is my review of We Happy Few. We Happy Few basically puts you in the role of a person stuck in a totalitarian world trying to escape and find happiness. But really, it doesn't work out like that on the end. So We Happy Few is a very stunningly beautiful and picturesque game. There are huge vistas and great character models and the animations and all sorts of things that are really great in this game, and it truly is a lovely game that just sort of jumps out, bites at you and says, "Oh, I love you." And there is that to this, but at the same time this game kind of falls apart in the very beginning of what it is, because when it was in early access, it was started off as basically a survival game, but as the game sort of progressed in development, the designers said, "Oh, we're going to put a single player story in it," and it slowly developed from there. Then they got acquired by Gearbox, and the whole thing sort of ramped up to another level. It's basically the whole sort of Spinal Tap idea, where sort of like crank it all the way to 11. Even though everything only goes at 10. So instead of just being an indie game, it turned into a AAA game. But that's not what we're presented with as a AAA game, but I'll get back to that. First of all, I'll just keep on covering the graphics and the various look of this game. It looks and it feels like a real world, this whole game. There are places where you hide, there are places where you run to, enemies that will interact with you, people that interact with you. The whole thing is fleshed out very well and very deeply, and one of the real great things about this game is it is absolutely chock full of tiny little side quests, tiny little tidbits of information, and then there's other story bits tucked in away, like little hidden Easter eggs and all sorts of these wonderful things that show and scope this whole world as being a true nightmare to live in. But at the same time, everyone's so doped up on some drugs that they're just like, wow, I don't feel anything. And it really is a fantastic thing where you feel like that. Like the first time you take a joy pill and all of a sudden the entire world turns into rainbows and butterflies, it's like, whoa, trippy. And then you crash and everything turns to shit. That is a fantastic thing about this game. So we'll stop here and we'll take a little listen to the music, and I'll get into that in a minute.
I just need to get to St George, get a letter of transit, go to the parade and cross the Britannia Bridge without being arrested or shot full of joy by a doctor.
Excellent! Here, you'll need this device. I've marked the cars that have the parts I need. Well, off with you.
Mum, Dad, I've come home. Well, don't you?
So that's where I parked it. What the hell was that?
This game, in the audio sort of section, is a really big gambit of so many different things. Like, I love the sound of you walking around, the little internal monologue of your character going, I'm thinking about this, or I'm thinking about this different other thing, and all these other bits and pieces that really makes it very interesting. And on a technical level and on a general level, it is extraordinarily big and large, and I'm exploded with this one every time I hear some of the characters and whatnot. But one of the biggest and most important things about this game is the main character of Jack. Jack is an overbearing part of this entire game, where you hear him on the video sets, you hear him all the time, and all the things he's talking about, like he's creepy, and at the same time he's supposed to be Mr. Rogers, who's also happy and English and everything, but the whole thing is so unbelievably creepy and scary at the same time. And yeah, there is nothing else but praise for the voice work, for the sound work, and the general feel of this. When you talk about music and everything, it just feels so much in theme with the entirety of the game. And the sound effects, I love some of the sound effects that come off and whatnot, and it really is a great thing in general. So 110% to Compulsion Games, because they did an extraordinary job with this game, and it just makes you feel. Now we'll come to the sort of gameplay and mechanics of it. The basic gameplay is you play as your single characters. There are 3 characters in the end that you play through the entirety of the game. And you basically go from where you start. You basically start off with nothing and you have to collect items. You literally have to scavenge, find and look for everything and craft all the items you need and continue on the story, like doing one quest after another to the fetch quests and whatnot to progress yourself further in the game. It can involve stealth, it can involve a lot of combat, and that can be some problematic things, but I'll keep on going and I'll get to the glitch section on this in a second. But overall, that's what you're basically doing. You're wandering around, you're doing quests, and it's a very long and involved game in that kind of respect, and it's very detailed and it's very enjoyable to play. But we'll come to what is the most unfortunate thing about this game. This game is now classified as AAA title because it got ramped up by Gearbox, and Gearbox are not small time people, they are big time people. Like, you only have to play one Borderlands game and you can see that they are not just doing one hit wonder, they are just making a very big thing. And I think they're feeling that same way about Compulsion Games, and especially the fact that this now has a DLC coming out for it later in the year also sort of points to it as being a new franchise or a new sort of company that they're going to throw things at to get bigger things out of. But that being said, a lot of this game has been rushed. There are glitches left, right and centre in character models, in scene models, in draw distance, in the hitboxes. My god, the hitboxes suck. Like, suck eggs and a half every time you try and hit someone properly and you're flying right through them, or you're trying to hit them with a punch. It is horrendously bad. But again, that's probably not why you end up playing a game like this. You don't end up playing a game like this because of the combat. You don't end up playing it for the crafting system. You don't end up playing it for the stealth or anything like that. This is a game where you come and play for the story, because it is immersing yourself in a world that is very different, very strange, very interesting, and makes you think and feel differently. And that's probably the whole point of this game, is that feeling of being in a different world. And especially such a dystopian world as this, where there are various levels. Like, you have the people that are the wastrels or the downers sort of things. Then you have the middle class people, and then you have the upper class people and the doctors and various things. And it's this whole class system where you have to change clothing in order to fit in, or you have to do certain things, or you can't run at this point, or you can't jump, all sorts of things. And that's probably where this game sort of really hits home as being that. There is also a skill tree, which is a really helpful improvement to the game, making you feel great, because you do a lot of lockpicking and breaking traps and whatnot to progress further. And the one thing that I really compliment them a lot on this particular game is the amount of options you have for everything. And that's what you want in a game, especially when you're playing on the PC, is options. Because when you don't have options playing a game, it can drive you insane. So much insanity. But that's not really there. Now, is this a game for everyone? No. This is a game for the main people that are going to play this game are going to be people that are into the dystopian future, into Orwell, into Animal Farm, all sorts of things like that, because that rings so true in this game. But for everyone else, it's going to be the price mark and the glitches they're going to throw you out the door. You're going to see the price on this and you go, no, goodbye, throw it out the door, I'm not seeing it until it's in a sale. And also, the glitches are ringing very true through this game. And it may get fixed in patches, it may not. They might just dump this game, but I don't think so. The developers of this game have poured literally their heart and soul into this game, and it is so good in many respects. And I say that from my own personal belief on it because it is a game that I like. It is a game that really rings for me when I play it. And every time I played it in early access and now seeing the finished thing, it's just a sell for me. But at the end of the day, it's a deep, deep sell for most people. So other than that, thank you for watching, and please come visit me at Astral Dragon. I do other reviews and other videos, and I'd be more than happy for you to subscribe and say hello to me. Come talk to me down in the chat. I want to talk to any of you that are there. But other than that, have yourselves a great day. I'll see you all later. This is Shane from Astral Dragon Gaming. I'm out.
Who will guard the Guardians? Huh? Who will guard them?